Tonight, police say a motorcycle driver is in critical condition after a serious crash in Tor Bay. Well, that intense thunderstorm lit up the skies on the Avalon all last night.
I'm more of a platform diver, but I don't have the platform. But I am happy that I'm competing in the games, and I'm very excited.
While training challenges aren't stopping the province's sole diver in the Canada Games.
I'm starting to come down to the planet a little bit more, but it's still hard to kind of grasp the fact that it actually happened.
The chance of a lifetime for a St. John's drummer, rocking out on stage with the Killers.
This is CBC Here and Now.
Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. I'm Heather Gillis, filling in for Carolyn Stokes. Again, tonight we have a slightly shorter 30-minute show, which will be followed by Land and Sea. But first, our top story. A motorcycle driver is in critical condition in hospital after a crash early yesterday morning in Tor Bay. The RNC says that they responded to the single vehicle crash near Tor Bay Road and RCAF Road around 1:20 in the morning on July 30th. Police are looking for video footage from the area of the collision or leading up to it. They are also looking to speak with a person driving a green and white motorcycle that they believe was with the driver who was injured. Meanwhile, police say they found a loaded gun in a vehicle in Seal Cove CBS early this morning. RNC patrol officers say they stumbled across a vehicle stopped in the middle of the road for no reason. Police say the driver sped away and pulled into a driveway and ran away. Officers caught the 47-year-old man but found his gun. The suspect was on house arrest and wasn't supposed to be driving. He was charged with firearm offenses and held for court. Well, a dazzling, powerful lightning storm lit up the skies across much of eastern Newfoundland last night, but the light show caused havoc, knocking out power to nearly 10,000 people, even starting small fires.
We did end up issuing a severe thunderstorm warning for the St. John's metro area yesterday evening. Basically, with a severe thunderstorm, you have to meet one of a few different criteria: rainfall of about 25 millimeters in an hour or higher, wind gusts of greater than 90 kilometers an hour, or rather hail of about 2.5 centimeters in size. So yesterday, our severe thunderstorm warning was issued on the rainfall aspect of it. We don't typically issue severe thunderstorm warnings for just thunder and lightning. It's more of the impact, the actual weather that goes along with them. But when it did move over Conception Bay, it did intensify, and so that's when the warning went out, and then it completely pulled offshore and out of the area just after midnight.
That was something else. The St. John's SPCA is getting a new home, one that will cost more than $6 million. Today, it held a sod-turning ceremony at its new facility, which is expected to open next year in 2026. Earlier today, our cameras stopped by the current SPCA building to find out just how much a new home will mean.
You can hear how loud the dogs are. They're the cats, and that stresses the cats out. The cats are not going to be able to hear the dogs in the new facility because of the sound barrier in the walls. And there's going to be more room for enrichment. This room is really cramped. When someone comes to do an adoption, we have people viewing animals in the next room. There's not very much space. So there's going to be adoption rooms where we can take an animal into the room and you can meet your kitten or your dog there. We need more capacity. Like I said, we didn't have the fosters that we have. We wouldn't be able to do the work that we're doing. And we've got a wait list right now for animals to come in because we don't have enough space. So the new facility it's imperative that we have it. We've got a wait list with 16 dogs on it to come in. And our dog room is actually full right now. So the facility we're standing in right now is our new SPCA, or it will be our new SPCA. It will have twice the capacity of our current SPCA with an in-house vet service. The facility will have a place where we can have community events. We can do community outreach, have brownies in, have schools in, have seminars, teach about responsible pet ownership and things like that. Well, we have huge wait lists. We're running out of space. We've outgrown the facility. Our reach is more than St. John's now. Our reach is across the island, to everywhere in Newfoundland and Labrador. We will help if we can. So we need a bigger facility. And we need our own vet. If we're going to move forward, that's the way to move forward. A vet on site is going to speed up adoptions. It's going to give better care to the animals. We're hoping, and this is part of our plan, we want to provide low-income spay and neuter clinics directly from the SPCA. We want to provide low-income vaccine clinics to help the community, which keeps giving us. We just want to give back to the community. That's where we are right now.
Well, the province's only diver competing at the Canada Games has to overcome a lot of adversity. Juan Diego Palma wasn't able to truly train for 2 years because the only pool in the province with full diving facilities had to close for upgrades. But Palma is still hoping to make a splash.
To be the youngest athlete, it feels I'm pretty excited and nervous at the same time. I really want to do well and don't want to fail. But I am happy that I'm competing in the games and I'm very excited.
So it's a little bit out the head, so can try to get more spiky and heading. I'm double proud because he's my son. He will be the only diver representing our province in the Canada Games. I wish to have more, but having those years with the pool shut down, we didn't have that chance to development of the divers.
Last year was a pretty tough year. They told us a year ago that we were going to be practicing in September. Then they moved it to February, March, May, June, and now we're here, July. And right now I'm practicing 1 meter, but I need to practice 3 meter. And I'm more of a platform diver, but I don't have the platforms or any of that.
Not having 3 meter platform have been tough for him to handle it emotionally, physically, technically. And let's go to the pool today, and he say sometimes, to what? We are doing the same every day. But don't give up. So we need to keep going. We need to focus on your goals. Now he's here. Now he's just a few days to the games. That's so exciting, and that makes him for sure a lot of motivation to keep going through.
When I'm on the board, I just think myself and picture myself on 3 meter, and do what I used to do on the 3 meter, do the same technique. It is pretty tough, but I just think of the technique of dive and do what I've been taught. In dryland, I do a trampoline and dry board. We practice the dives that are in the list of the dive groups and practice for the event. I do know that lots of people are gonna be cheering for me and all that. I just hope I do well in the games.
He has a lot on his shoulders. I say, hey, just relax. You are the only one. Enjoy and believe the experience. You deserve it. Okay, look, that was a little bit.
To represent Newfoundland and Labrador in the Canada Games, it's gonna be an honor to me to represent it. I'm very excited. Can't wait for the games.
What a talented young man. The Las Vegas rockers, the Killers, are long gone from St. John's, but their first ever show here was a night one fan is never going to forget. Steve Brown is a self-described hobbyist drummer, and he got the chance to jam with the superstars on stage. The CBC's Jessica Singer has more.
It turns out the Killers weren't the only ones who slayed Churchill Park this week. Basement drummer Steve Brown ended up on stage behind the kit, keeping the beat during the band's encore.
I was lucky enough to see the Killers in 2018, and when we were at that set, we were on the front rail as well. And a fan got brought up on stage to play the song for reasons unknown. So after the show, I looked into it, and apparently that's something that they semi-regularly do.
When he got his Churchill Park tickets, Brown decided to learn the song, practicing an hour a day for about 2 weeks. He got to the concert early and made his way right to the front, carrying a sign his partner made him. But at first, it looked like the Vegas rockers weren't going to pull their usual stunt in St. John's.
Normally when they do play it, that's around halfway through the set. So the fact we got to the encore and they had him played it made me think, not going to play it, no big deal. Still an amazing show, amazing experience, amazing to hear the crowd sing. But once the first couple notes started during the second encore song, I knew that it was go time.
To Brown's surprise, the Killers ended up plucking him from the crowd. But at first, he had a few roadblocks.
Not only have I never played on an acoustic kit before, I have an electric kit at home. I've never really played with a band, and I've never played in front of people. My brain kind of turned off, and adrenaline started, and I hoped muscle memory would get me where I needed to go. I'm starting to come down to the planet a little bit more, but it's still hard to kind of grasp the fact that it actually happened.
Pretty cool. Sticking with music, if you'd like to pick up a musical instrument yourself, you might want to head over to the AC Hunter Library in St. John's. In addition to books and board games, the library also has hundreds of musical instruments that you can borrow. The CBC's Madison Taylor gave some a try.
This might look like a music store, but we're actually in the library. Not that one. Not that one.
The library should be fun to go to. That's what I tell people all the time. It's not about just being quiet. It's about discovering and learning new things. My name is Emma Craig, and I am the regional librarian for St. John's, part of Newfoundland and Labrador Public Libraries. We have about 200 instruments, and they're all housed in our one room here at the AC Hunter. You can check out any musical instrument, stuff like guitars, pianos, drums, and you can borrow them for a period and then return them to the library afterwards. So a typical lending period is about 4 weeks or 28 days. That being said, as long as nobody's waiting for the instrument, you actually renew it for another 28 days. So that's like a max of like 56 days you could get, and that tends to be plenty of time for most people. Based on our stats, our different acoustic guitars have been checked out about 700 times. We were given funding from Sun Life Financial back in 2018, and that was a really exciting thing. They came to us and they arranged everything, buying the instruments and all the different musical instrument resources like songbooks, and then launched, and we basically run it here. One thing I had to pull was an accordion. Accordion's very big in Newfoundland music, so we actually didn't have an accordion originally when Sun Life gave us the instruments, but we did use some of the funding from that to purchase them, because what's a musical instrument library in St. John's without an accordion? Musical instruments, super expensive, especially like when it comes to kids who want to learn how to play an instrument, or even adults who just want to pick up maybe something they pursued at a younger age. Like, it can be really hard to get back in, so it's really nice to have a resource like the musical instrument library where like there's no boundary or limitation on being able to check something out from us. We're always accepting donations. Basically, the instruments we have in our collection are any instrument that isn't a wind instrument.
The library's not just about books. It's about learning new things, trying new instruments, and having fun. Madison Taylor, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, while there's lots of summer left, Cain's Quest organizers are already thinking about winter. The race is dubbed the world's longest snowmobile endurance race, and 2026 will mark its 20th anniversary. The race route has been finalized. It covers 3,400 kilometers through Labrador and Quebec, Organizers have also upped the top prize to $125,000. Teams have until September 19th to sign up, and they'll start their engines on February 22nd. More of last night's lightning storm there coming up. I'm going to have your full weather forecast. Stay with us. Welcome back to Here Now. Time to take a look at our weather forecast. We'll start with today's highs. Not as warm in St. John's as it was yesterday. It was 29 yesterday, 23 today, and into the mid-20s for much of central Newfoundland. A little bit cooler for some parts of the southern-facing coasts, like on the southern Avalon, and for the Burgeo area, where it's down into the upper teens. Into the single digits for Nain and Hopedale. So a bit chilly there today, but into the teens as well, though, for central and western Labrador. Taking a look now at our satellite radar. Lightning was the big story of last night, which we saw earlier in the show. And the satellite is picking up a little bit of lightning through some areas and some heavy areas of showers So we do have a risk of that into the overnight. So something to watch out for. Will we see what we saw last night in the east? I don't know if we'll ever see anything like that again. It was pretty spectacular, to say the least. Taking a look at our future tracker tonight, we will see some showers up across Labrador. But as we head towards midnight, we'll see some clearing, especially for the island with some cloud and pretty clear skies for the west coast, parts of it at least, and into the northern peninsula with some chance of showers across Labrador and some cloud there as well. As we go into the overnight hours, it'll be the same thing for the island and a little bit more cloud moving down for Labrador. And into tomorrow, we'll see some showers moving across Labrador tomorrow, things clearing out cloud-wise more for the island, leaving a great day to kick off your Friday. Moving on to tonight now, let's take a look at our temperatures. These temperatures are sitting about where they should be for this time of year. 14 in St. John's, but 10 and 11 degrees for the west coast and central Newfoundland. In Labrador, again, chilly, 7, 8 degrees for coastal areas and just 6 in Lab West. We could see some thunder showers for Happy Valley Goose Bay, for Cartwright and into the Straits, as well as central Newfoundland and the Bonavista Peninsula tonight. Some showers are possible, and we could pick up a couple of millimeters for the coast of Labrador tonight, but some clear, some cloudy, partly cloudy skies for the west coast, southwest coast, and St. John's. Taking a look at our thunderstorm risk, you can see here in yellow through western and central Labrador for the Straits up to the Cartwright area. We could see some showers. We could thunder showers, a risk of them for the Bayvert Peninsula, straight through to the Bonavista Peninsula, through Gander, Grand Falls as well. A possibility for parts of the Canagra Peninsula and Burgeo as well tonight. Taking a look at our provincial forecast for tomorrow, it looks like not a bad day at all for the island. Some sun, some cloud, temperatures into the low 20s, some cooler areas along the coast. And in Labrador, kind of same what we were seeing today, in the teens in many areas except for Happy Valley Goose Bay, and just 9 in Nain. Taking a look at Friday though, it looks like we will have a fairly nice day on Friday with the exception of St. John's, because we could have a little system pass and give us just 12 degrees with some showers. Could see some showers across Labrador, but a nice day for many other places. Here's your long range for the east. Not a bad forecast there. Looking kind of similar there for central and western Newfoundland, and a little bit more shower activity up across Labrador. Leave you with this weather photo because the lightning was just the talk of the town. Moving on now, the Royal St. John's Regatta was a go at Kitty Vitty Lake yesterday. And when the races were finished, the 2 top crews were repeat winners. For the men, Capital Home Hardware won the men's championship race in a time of 9:55.24. And for the women, Volkswagen in a time of 5:16.41.
In first place, in State 3, Volkswagen St. John's, with a time of 5:16.41.
It's just incredible. I've been living away the last 6 years, and to be able to move home and have them all here again and row with the girls that I had rowed with years ago, it's just like, it's hard to imagine that you can do that again after so long. So it's just like a really big day for everyone.
With a time of 9:54.24, Capital Home Hardware.
Like, there's nothing beats winning. So last year was my first championship that I've ever won, and I've been rowing since I was 13 years old. So it was about time, right? So to get a second one under my belt feels great, and hopefully we'll see what comes next year.
See your dealer for details.
Welcome back to Here and Now. The latest rounds of cuts at Memorial University could mean less research in and about this province. The university announced $20 million in cuts last week, including plans to shut down the Harris Centre. Two former longtime employees say closing it doesn't make sense.
Memorial University is a critical mass of resources, faculty, students, staff, and it's tuned in, it's plugged into what's going on in the rest of the world. It's familiar with best practices in governance and planning in so many things, has so much to bring to bear. It is a publicly funded organization. It's costing us $400 million to run. What the Harris Center costs is minimal, is minuscule in relationship to the overall budget. But more important is the fact that the university it benefits from the Harris Center because it generates more money than it costs. A cost-benefit analysis, if you did a cost-benefit analysis, what you would find is that there's more money being brought in than is spent out, than is being expended.
What do you think the impact is going to be with the loss of the Harris Center on other areas of academic research for the overall university? I mean, what is the loss really going to mean here?
Breaking a mirror. So, for example, a university should be a window and a mirror. The window is the faculty members who are connected with every part of the universities around the world. They're looking at knowledge from a global perspective, bringing it back here. The Harris Center was the mirror. It allowed us to look at ourselves. And vital signs was a perfect example of that. How are we doing as a province? And as I mentioned earlier, if faculty members are not incentivized to do research within the province, then we lose that part of the mirror. If the Harris Center isn't out there bringing in money to do local research, then that research is not going to get done, and we won't be able to have reflected back at us our realities.
Well, that brings us to the end of tonight's show. Do stay tuned for a special encore presentation of Land and Sea. Tonight, we will be exploring the ocean off the coast of Labrador. Hope you can join us again tomorrow for Friday. Thanks for spending your evening with us. Good night.